All right. What's up, Carolina Panther fans? This is your boy Big Brother A with the Carolina Frat House Podcast. And, you know, I'm putting out this video to talk about some picks, potential picks for the upcoming NFL draft that we should stay away from. All right. Uh, Draft is going to be in about 2 days, and this is strictly for the first round. Strictly we should stay away from with our first round pick. All right, and this is this is going to be interesting, right? I've done some research. I use a lot of analytics that our department is currently utilizing, and I think once we go over it, you guys agree with my take. And quick tidbits, I will be streaming live for the NFL draft on Thursday. Hope you guys log on. I'm going to try to play the videos and audio live during, give on air feedback, live responses, and live reactions. So, should be fun. Should be real fun. So, before I get into the picks that we should stay away from, please like and subscribe, support the channel, and I'm gonna, like I said, keep creating more Carolina Panther content for you guys. All right, so let's go to the first player we should stay away from. All right, so we actually met with this player at the NFL Combine. All right, Keldrick Falk, edge. All right, and he's about 6'6", 276, playing weight around 285. So he wouldn't be an edge like Nick Scorton and Princely per se, but more of an edge like Tashawn Wharton. All right, so more of a defensive end edge with a hand in the dirt. Now, this guy, he has crazy physical ability. All right, I believe like a 700-pound squat. All right, 300 plus pound bench press. Extremely athletic. Extremely. So why should we stay away from him? All right. So if you look at his total pass grade in college, all right, the total score is PFF rates as a 6.73 score. All right, and that score is decent. Okay, it's not a great score. It's an okay score. All right, and if you look, I have a chart listed up around that rate. It's I believe a 1 out of 4 chance of hitting on this pick. So they actually compare this pick to similar guys like Shamar Stewart that was recently drafted by Cincinnati. He didn't do anything. And Mikael Williams. A lot of athletic defensive ends that just does not have any pass rush ability and results. They do not trend well in the NFL most of the time. Most of the time, they never gain that pass rush ability. And the Panthers actually need that pass rush ability. Like if we draft him, we're expecting him to potentially replace Deshaun Wharton, to assist with Derek Brown and replace Deshaun Wharton. All right, Derek, you're not going to get much pass rush from Derek Brown. All right, he's our strong stalwart in the middle. All right, this guy, like I said, what I've read, he's a great run defender. Okay, is he going to be able to replace Ashawn Robinson? No. Okay, he doesn't have the weight for that. So Tershawn Wharton, he, the brief while he played for us, I thought he looked good, but he had a horrible PFF grade. You know, so it might look at it and say, hey, we need to replace that guy. Keldrick Falk, you know, if he's going to replace him, we signed Tashawn Wharton to be a pass rusher, okay, to help us in that avenue. Our pass rush, we're in the bottom fourth of the league in pass rush. Bottom fourth, the Panthers. All right, so we need more pass rushers. And I don't think he just offers that to the team. I think he's just really, like I said, from the stats and what I've seen run red, it just seems like he's extremely athletic. And, maybe he can be built up into a productive player. The Panthers don't have that luxury. Right? To be honest, this next season is a make or break season for a lot of players on the Panthers. And the head coach, Dave Canales. Dave Canales can be gone in the middle of this next season if he does not produce. Bryce Young could be gone after this season. J.C. Horn can be gone after this season. It's a lot of players with their future on the stake with this next season. Do you want to bank it on someone where statistically there's a 75% chance he will bust? You'll not hit on this player as your first rounder? I don't think so. But PFF big board, he's ranked 22. Close enough to our 19th pick. Just hope we stay away. Now, with these next players, we did more than just met them at the combine. We actually did a top 30 visit. Now, why is that important? All right. If you look at the past 2 years, all right, not just last year, the past 2 years, 2025, 2024, we've selected our first rounder and second round from our top 30 visits. All right. Xavier Legette and Jonathan Brooks, we both did top 30 visits with both of them. T-Mac and Princely, we did top 30 visits with both of them. Now, Nick Scorton, he came in the second round as well, but I guess that's, the way we got the extra pick. We sort of, thought that was more, I guess that one. But we did seemed like we were aiming at T-Mac and Princely. So, we will probably pick our first round and second rounder if the trend continues. The first and second rounder will be a player that we've done top 30 visit with. And I'll save video tomorrow, the day before the draft, to go over all our top 30 visits and see which one is most likely do I believe we're going to get out of all those top 30 visits. We'll see. But next, let's see, who should we stay away from? So next, this is a popular name that's being mocked to us. Casey Concepcion, wide receiver. All right. Now, this is the pick I actually want us to stay away from the most. All right. The most. I want us to stay away from really wide receiver in the first round the most. Why? First, it's a horrible look for us to draft for a wide receiver in the first round 3 years in a row. It just sounds horrible. The first thing you're going to think of is the Detroit Lions with Charles Rogers, Roy Williams, Mike Williams. All right. We selected Xavier Legette. We selected T-Mac. Xavier Legette, he's, this is make or break year for him. Or we might be over him. If you draft a wide receiver in the first round, you sort of have to get rid of Legette because Jalen Coker is a starting wide receiver. So, I think we should. You spent this pick on Xavier Legette. He did improve his hands. Uh, I think you give him a third shot, or you don't draft wide receiver in the first round, maybe second or third. But Casey Concepcion, with him specifically, I want you to look at this chart that's going over the yard per play versus zone, and this is historical from since 2019. All right, since 2019. And looking at this chart of all the players, our scouts, I guess what we scout, man, we are horrible at getting guys that could beat zone. Like, this all these wide receivers on this list, this is a pretty concrete list because every wide receiver on this list is struggling in the league. Even Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas started out strong and then fell off in his second season. Now, that could be a sophomore slump. Or you can see that, hey, he's starting to struggle. But he's your most successful player on this list. Every other player on this list is struggling, especially Panthers. Okay, the top two players, Jonathan Mingo and Xavier Legette, horrible. Like, we really struggle at picking wide receiver. Terrace Marshall, horrible. I don't even know if he's still in the league. I'm not even sure Jonathan Mingo is in the league anymore. But just those three names, horrible. Xavier Legette, he's struggling. His strength, the one strength he does have, does not mix with Bryce Young. All right, he has deep threat ability. It seems like he can only play with Andy Dalton. But he's on this list high. And Casey Concepcion, and we're going to throw in Denzel Boston. Okay, I don't have his name up there, but we're going to throw him in there as well. Those two wide receivers, let's stay away from them. They struggle against zone. Right? We're going to need an intelligent wide receiver. All right? We don't need an athlete at wide receiver. All right? Yes, he's very quick. All right? Great acceleration. They believe he can offer much, not only with run after the catch, but also the return game. I don't think it's worth it. Not in the first round. No. Because it seems like he's going to struggle being an actual wide receiver. All right? Most of the league runs some type of zone now. You're going to have to, if you have to manufacture catches for him, why not try that with Xavier Legette? All right, Xavier Legette is 6'1", 220, has 4.3 speed. Casey Concepcion has a problem with drops. Xavier Legette had a problem with drops. He's worked on it and did much better in sophomore season as far as drops. All right, now his route running was ugly. All right, he looks clumsy when he runs routes. Why don't you manufacture some quick run and catch plays for him? Try to use Xavier Legette like Deebo Samuel, or in the slot. Like, move him around. I think we have the player already that we're trying to get from potentially Casey Concepcion. Dan Morgan said, hey, he wants, someone that break, with run after catch ability. Someone that could take a short catch, take it 60 yards. Let's try let's try looking at some players like Legette, Jimmy Horn Jr. even. My goodness, man, he's actually a better wide receiver than what we use him as with these quick tosses and whatnot. We need to actually look into using him more as a wide receiver. But again, look at this list. Okay, Denzel Boston, Casey Concepcion, stay away from. All right. So that leaves you with some other wide receivers. Hey, we can look at maybe Jordan Tyson, Omar Cooper Jr., Carnell Tate even, Makai Lemon. They don't have this low of a score against zone. So, his rank is around 35. Would you consider him in the second round? No. All right. That's what we did with Jonathan Mingo and Terrence Marshall. No, we need to stay away from this archetype we keep falling into. All right. The Panthers, we have this curse of Musa Muhammad with wide receivers. Musa Muhammad, second round, physical, over 6 foot wide receiver. And we've been trying to replace Musa Muhammad for years, decades. It's like, hey, it worked with Musa Muhammad. Let's get this big physical wide receiver to be our next Musa Muhammad. Like, do you understand? We failed a lot. Kerry Colbert, Dwayne Jarrett. Devin Funches. I'm going to go ahead and throw, what's my man name? Kelvin Benjamin. Horrible. These guys all were just picked because they were big and supposed to be physical. Hey, the guy has athletic ability. Like, let's stay away from this archetype for once. All right, we nailed it with T-Mac. Okay, so far, we nailed it with T-Mac. T-Mac is not on this list. Okay, I believe his score is actually pretty average versus zone. Let's get someone that's great against zone. Let's see how that works. Let's try something different, scouts. So, wide receiver. I really don't want us to go wide receiver in the first round at all, period. All right, I see that as an L. So, next, stay away from cornerback, Jamar McCoy. All right. Now, this one, we've had a top 30 visit with him as well. Now, I believe he's the highest player on the PFF big board that we've done the top 30 visit with. Why is that important? T-Mac was ranked number 4 on PFF's big board when we selected him at pick 9. All right, he was highly ranked by PFF. McCoy here, he's highly ranked by PFF. All right, he's ranked higher than our spot at 19. Now, I actually like his play. I actually like his ability. I actually like the idea of getting a corner. All right. So, what's the problem? That knee. ACL medically flagged, man. It came out that his knee might have a degenerative condition. All right, so it might not ever heal properly. Now he did move well as pro day, but he skipped some drills at the combine. I don't think we need to take this chance. All right, especially not in the first round. Especially not this season here. All right, we took a chance with Jonathan Brooks. All right, he's been out for the past 2 years. All right, we basically haven't gotten anything from that draft pick. We don't need to take that same chance in the first round. All right, it's one thing he's tore his ACL. It's another that now reports are coming out that not only did he tear his ACL this past season in college, Dad is he has a condition where it's probably not going to ever heal correctly. We don't need to take the chance. Not in the first round. Not in the first round. Now, would I consider him in the second round? Now, with him, I would actually consider him in the second round. All right. Now, the reason being his PF, I do think he has a great ability at a premium position. Okay, he's not a running back. Right. I hated the Jonathan Brooks pick. Right. We don't need running backs. You could get a solid running back, which we did in the draft after. Even though we keep trying to make him a returner. Right, we got a solid, decent running back, 5th round. Right, you still have Chuba. Why do we need to draft Jonathan Brooks? That was a horrible, just a horrible choice. Right, we actually need corners. Right, every team really needs nowadays 3 to 4 solid corners. Right, we have J.C. Horn. We have Mike Jack. Okay, this is Mike Jackson's last year. Wade Smith, probably going to be moving him around, try him at safety a little bit. Who do we have after him? Hey, let's try this guy. Second round at best. All right, but with his knee being flagged, you're sort of telling yourself, I might only get him for like 4 or 5 years and then that's it. I don't think we need to take that chance. You know what? I don't even, like I said, I'm iffy on the second round now because the Jonathan Brooks pick left a bad taste. And it should left a bad taste in fans' mouths, like, pause. But, why do we need to deal with a player that's recovering from an injury again? All right, we did. I think a lot of people like to bring up Thomas Davis, but you have to remember, Thomas Davis actually was healthy first 2 seasons. Actually played well before he got injured. We tried to rush him back, and he tore his ACL twice, but that technically counted as 1 season. Then he tore it a 3rd time, and luckily he was able to come back and play well and stay healthy. But he stayed healthy in college, and he showed he could play his first season. All right, we had problems with Michael Vick. He helped alleviate that. Michael Vick used to whoop our behinds. Once we drafted him, that stopped. But yeah, I just don't think we need to take this risk. Like I said, solid player, but the injury concern, I don't want to deal with, hey, he's not recovering from his ACL correctly, and then, it's like, hey, well, you should have known he had this, we flagged this knee earlier in the draft process. No, we don't need to take that risk. So, those are the players I think, we really should stay away from the first round of the NFL draft. You guys in the comments, tell me what you think. Do you think, hey, I think the potential benefits from these players might weigh more than the huge risk? Or, you agree with me. Say, hey, you know what? I never looked at it like that. I think we should stay away as well. All right, guys. So, this is wrapping up the video. Tomorrow, I think I'm gonna give my 3 picks I think we should pick. 3 players I think we should. That would be big wins for us if we make these picks. So I'll do that tomorrow, and then like I said, I'll set up the live for the NFL draft. But guys, guys, this is Carolina Frat House Podcast. Stay tuned for the future videos. And like I said, like and subscribe. All right. Peace, guys.